Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you Protosszocker versus Manotha in round 1 of the 4th Asia Pacific tournament. This is of course the 1 division tournament, and today we are seeing Sainte-Mère-Église, and Protosszocker has chosen the 2nd Infantry for his division, and Manotha the 17th SS Panzergrenadier. So, two very strong choices. We are going to be seeing Allied versus Axis once again after seeing previously Axis versus Axis and Allied versus Allied. So it's awesome seeing, you know, all of the combinations going up against each other. But yeah, this one pretty standard. Two very good divisions. 2nd Infantry we've talked about previously, being a very versatile division. 17th SS also in the same boat. It does kind of lack strong armor. The Stug's really not matching up in use very well to the M4s. Like, they're not as useful. But they have other good units, of course, like the Nebelwerfers. They have some decent infantry in the Stosstroop. And they're just extremely hard to play against because they can really deny areas of play with those Nebelwerfers and artillery in general. They also have access to things like Pak-40s, and yeah, just have a lot of strong units. So, on the side of Protosszocker, let's see what's going down. We've got some infantry heading to the top side. That's still being placed down. 6-pounder going to be joining him there. Going to be an artillery piece for the mid. That's probably a 107mm mortar. Really good for pinning down infantry early on. And there's also the Ranger Leader there, and probably the Ranger Assaults with their flamethrowers. For the bottom side, it's going to be an M4DD. There's also the Duck there with rifles, and a Ranger Marauder squad. So, interesting setup. For Manotha, it's going to be AT gun there, some recon. He's got these Speedtroop. Actually, they're not Speedtroop. They are Stosstroop, sorry. This will be Speedtroop. Then we have the Command Infantry following up. And I mean, that's quite a large reliance on the Stosstroop early on. Stosstroop are great, but they really need to be supported by Panzergrens, because if they get into positions where they can't attack from range, they just get killed very quickly indeed. So it looks like Manotha is going to have to be careful of that moving forwards. In the town, they do work very well because they can house hop quite easily. Without being really punished for the range disadvantage. Also considering they can use smoke. But that's going to be in the middle here. We got Command Infantry. There is going to be a mortar on the side of Manotha as well. And on this top side it's going to be, I think that's a Pak-40 early on, with recon, of course, Command, and another Stosstroop. So yeah, so many Stosstroop coming out. Any more additions to Protosszocker side of things? Yep, another unit of Ranger Assaults there with a rifle squad coming into the mid. And I think that's your lot. So, we'll have to wait and see how these infantry engagements go. But in general, Ranger Assaults will probably win out against Stosstroop just because they have more men and they have the napalm. So Manotha's going to have to be very careful that he doesn't lose control of the town early on. It's definitely something that could happen and then affect him for the rest of the game. So off we go. And this is indeed a Pak-40 there, being pulled by the SDKFZ-10. AT gun for the top side is just going to be an M1 gun there. Yeah, the infantry engagement in the mid here is really what we're going to have to look out for. And also this M4DD a little later on when it starts to engage infantry down here. Because that could definitely swing things in favor of Protosszocker if Manotha loses his AT gun to the infantry here early on. So Ranger Assaults coming in. Can they get themselves into a decent position to take on the Stosstroop? Like, there is 3 units of Stosstroop, but they're not very well concentrated. Nebelwerfer has been brought in. That's going to actually be firing immediately at the 107mm mortar. Stosstroop did actually get a really good shot there into the rifles. They killed the duck. They didn't actually pin down the rifle squad, or kill the rifle squad though. Ranger Assault's going to try and move forwards. Oh, they killed the command straight away. That's going to definitely lower the effectiveness of the Stosstroop, and they've got the perfect range engagement. The Stosstroop being forced out in front of the house. That is devastating for Manotha. Also, these Stosstroop coming out once again into the front of the church, and 2 squads of Stosstroop and a command infantry gone down at the start of this game. That is very, very bad for Manotha. Wow, explosive start. Protosszocker really finding an advantage with these Ranger Assaults, and like I said, due to their napalm, they really can put the pain into the Stosstroop. That's exactly what we've seen. The over-reliance on the Stosstroop has basically meant that Manotha has no range control. He doesn't have Panzer Grenadiers to try and pin these Ranger Assaults as they cross in the open. No, he just has to run away, and that's really affecting him right now. A bit surprised that these Panzergrenadier fell back, honestly. Might have been able to just kill off that Ranger Assault before doing so, but yeah, still, all of the Stosstroop are dead in the town. On this bottom side, Pack 38 is in trouble. It's getting hit by the rifles here, and if that goes down, the M4DD is going to be able to push up here and kill off the Stosstroop. Stosstroop way too late with that smoke. Oh, that's such a shame. Spear Troop, they're not really going to be able to see much either. M4D just approaching now. And yeah, that's going to be hard to deal with for sure. Now Panzergrens have arrived, but they are going to be engaged at the ideal range here for these Ranger Assaults. And honestly, that might cause them to be pinned down. And with this Panzergrenadier running away, that may be a surrender there. No, Protosszocker just going to be using the rest of his napalm. Protosszocker will have to be careful once these Ranger Assaults run out of ammunition, honestly. But they've done plenty of damage, and there's also the reinforcements coming in there. Crazy stuff. Now this Nebelwerfer, it did try to kill off the 107mm mortar early on, which was an interesting choice. But it didn't get the kill, so it wasn't really worth it. That strike there didn't really hit the mark either. Honestly, it kind of just disabled a lot of these buildings and stop them from being used by Manotha moving forwards. Now on this bottom side, the Stosstroop there are going to get a Panzerfaust into the front of the M4DD, but they didn't get the shooter wounded, they got the driver wounded, and that means that they are going to be bent down and surrendered very quickly indeed. Spear Troop are going to be revealing themselves, but the M4DD is quite happy now that that Stosstroop is gone. On this top side, the Stosstroop also falling to a lot of this infantry from Protosszocker, and I feel like the over-reliance on Stosstroop over Panzergrens has definitely put the disadvantage on Manotha early on, when otherwise he should have been relatively even. Like, yes, of course, napalm will always win at the 100-meter range against Stosstroop, but as long as you have Panzergrens that can provide the MG cover at longer ranges, then they should be okay to sort of play around the engagements, but not going to be the case. 60mm mortar there finishes off the Stosstroop. We do see 2 107mm mortars now in for Protosszocker, and they're going to make short work of this Pack 40 if it does not fall back. Stug 3 has been brought in. Looks like a bit of a panic purchase there, honestly. This Stug 3 is a really nice vehicle, but bringing it in to deal with the town, not really convinced that's the best choice. M4DD easily cleaning up these Speed Troop, as to be expected. There is a IG-18 coming in down here with an SBW-223. Not really what he needs to take care of the M4, now that it's revealed itself. So I'd like to see maybe some AT infantry come in, maybe just an AT gun in general. But he could definitely be lacking both of those things at this point. Like, if he doesn't bring Panzerschreck specifically, the only AT infantry he has is Stosstroop, and all of them are just being melted. Once again here, these Ranger Assaults just going to work. Really, really nice job there. Killing another unit of Stosstroop. Protosszocker really has this matchup locked down right now. And things are just going to get more and more difficult for Manotha. There's not much coming back in Phase B. Like, the 2nd Infantry really just gets better in Phase B, honestly. They get access to more Shermans, more fire support, more infantry. And it's going to make it incredibly hard for the 17th SS to come back. Yes, he can try and rely on these Nebelwerfers, but it's not going to be long until they're overrun. The only thing that's stopping those Nebelwerfers from being taken out currently is the Stug 3. So we'll have to wait and see if Protosszocker can take care of that Stug 3, because if that's gone, then Manotha is going to be in a very bad place indeed. Back 40 is still alive here, but only on 1 health. Not for much longer though, I don't think. Yep, 107mm mortars come down with the 16 HE, get the job done. Stoss troop hanging out on the bottom side of the town here. They are just going to keep themselves hidden. They only engage at 100 meter range, so you never really have to put them on return fire, which is the beauty of Stoss troop, I guess. But I mean, it does mean that rifles and units at range here can recover and walk back to the positions they were previously at. So yeah, Protosszocker here. I would love to see these rifles just running across the open. Look how big that salient is. You can generally tell that there's nothing there when you can see like this amount of ground from your unit to where the enemy line is. Like, this is a big chunk of ground that's just clear of everything. And therefore you can tend just to walk into it. Like, if there was anything in these tree lines, and the sort of front line would be forwards. So taking advantage of that is definitely something that Protosszocker could do at this moment. But the infantry engagements at the start here have just been absolutely phenomenal. And have just taken these Stoss troop by storm. Stug 3, just not really getting involved. It's a very expensive purchase, and if you don't use it properly, honestly can leave you in a pretty bad position. Once again, mortar's really just doing the job. Now this is a nice, nice Nebelwerfer strike, comes straight in onto 2 Ranger assaults. Wow, that's more like it, Manotha. Make those Nebelwerfers hurt. That is the worst thing to play against. When those Nebelwerfers really hit the mark, that's when you got to be scared of the 17th SS. Before then, maybe not so much. At least not at the moment, not as the 2nd Infantry with Ranger assaults in your hand. But all of the Ranger assaults seem to be dead now, so maybe moving into Phase B, Manotha can make use of more Stoss troop, but I don't know if he wants to. Not after the pain of the first 5 to 10 minutes of this game. Wow. Very dominating performance. This Ranger Marauder is scary close to the Stug here. Oh no. No way. Manotha, surely. Look at the stealth on that. Oh no. Crew wounded. Ranger Marauders are going to get out of the way. Are they going to go for it again? And they find the kill. Stug 3 goes down, barely did a thing. And that is a very significant kill for Protosszocker to pick up, because it leaves these Nebelwerfers completely exposed. Now, really nice Nebelwerfer strike also, though, onto these 107mm mortars. It's a shame that they didn't do much more damage, but still a very nice try there from Manotha. I think when 2 mortars like this are stacked up on top of each other, it's a very good target for a Nebelwerfer. I think it almost killed the duck as well, and if it had, it probably would have killed both of the 107mm mortars with it due to the explosion. But yeah, killing off the Stug down here, that surely gives him permission to move up this M4DD. Why wouldn't you after that? Especially with Range Marauders providing you with the recon and the rifles there well up ahead. You can surely just roll on forwards. Now the IG-18, oh, that might unwittingly take out this Ranger Marauder squad if it fires at the rifles. Yep, it did. That's why you should never stack infantry, guys. And why is the M4 falling back? Yeah, you need to get that forwards, Protosszocker. I was like, it's an IG-18. You don't have to be scared of that. Get out there. Kill that IG-18. M1 gun. did take a Nebelwerfer strike. Takes it down to 2 health. Not much else done though. Ranger supports at that range really don't want to be engaging the Stoss Troop. Stoss Troop can demolish Ranger supports at close range. That looks like what they're going to try and do here. Yep, job done. Oh, mortars finally coming down onto the Nebelwerfers. I think that's something Protosszocker could maybe try and do more so. Manotha's done a good job of sort of repositioning the Nebelwerfers, but it's always worth trying to counter battery them and stop them from firing in the first place, or at least firing inaccurately. We currently got a +2 for Protosszocker, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. Oh, the mortar fire there coming in was just perfect. It's going to pin down those Stoss Troop. Rifles don't have to care. They can get to the edge of this town. Make sure no more infantry pesters them from now on. So, pretty much full control of the town goes over to Protosszocker now. I think Protosszocker might want to find what's here with like a recon unit or something. But other than that, should be getting aggressive with the M4. I know there's no recon down here, but previously killing the Stug 3 should allow you to get quite aggressive with an M4, as long as you have your rifles ahead of you. Now more infantry spamming into the mid. It looks like Manotha definitely not scared of bringing in more Stoss Troop in Phase B. Going to be accompanying that by a Nebelwerfer strike. Forces back the rifles on the edge of the town. Now going to be running into the flames. Can he make some ground with those? With all of the Ranger assaults out of the picture, honestly, he has a very good chance of making some ground. But nope, not this time around. Stoss Troop going to find themselves pinned down on its own flames with the help of the 107mm mortars. And now the chance is really there for Protosszocker to push up. Can he see that they are pinned? Yeah, he can. Why would you not be more aggressive here? Get those surrenders, boy.
Yes, sir.
That's what you gotta do. Yep. Make sure you counter battery that, but I feel like that's a missed opportunity to have those rifles run aggressively towards the Stoss Troop. And more rifles arriving in the bottom side. They're going to be able to push into these tree lines. M4DD now needs to be scared. Pack 40 has now arrived. We are well into Phase B, so more AT availability is here. But yeah, that's the other thing. By the end of Phase A, he'd killed the Pack 40 on the top side here, and he'd killed the Stug 3, right? So the only thing he really needs to be scared of was Pack 38 or maybe a Stoss Troop squad. But now he's left it too late to run forwards with that, or drive forwards with the M4DD, and it's being punished by the Pack 40. So that is unfortunate. Now Nebelwerfer once again. Oh, that's coming in with a rather nice strike there onto the 207mm mortars. But M2A1 howitzer, that's going to be trying to take care of this Pack 40 on the bottom side. As long as the M4DD doesn't die, Protossocker's not really been punished for that mistake. So that's good. For him at least. Probably not so much for Manotha, who really wants to get that M4DD kill right now. That M4DD has also stopped falling back. It's only track well damaged, so it should still be moving. That M2A1 has work to do. Oh, nasty Nebelwerfer 42. Big hits coming down onto the rifles. Not really hitting directly where they want to. They're still melting a lot of faces, that's for sure. Nebelwerfer, I think, hit again towards these mortars, but they are still alive. Not being very precise with those, Manotha. Maybe just getting unlucky with where those rockets are hitting, because sometimes they can be a real pain. Now Pack 40 did take out the M4DD. Looks like Protosszocker gave up on that, and now his rifles are being pushed back on this bottom side. More infantry is arriving, possibly to take advantage of that. But we see a P-47 Thunderbolt coming in with a 15 HE power bomb. Probably not going to do too much damage. It'll come down to like 2 health. Oh, 3 health. There you go. Does manage to pin the Pioneer Führer there as well. Now, Manotha did manage to get his Stoss Troop and the Pioneer Führer back into the edge of this town, but a 56% territory lead in favour of Protosszocker. Manotha really doing a good job of coming back in this game at the moment. Like, his infantry availability and cost of his infantry is really good in Phase B, and he's taking advantage of that to make back quite a bit of ground right now. On this top side, Panzer Grenadiers definitely have a good chance to do a lot of damage. These ones being pinned down by the rifles is unfortunate, but these Panzer Grenadiers are in a really good position to start moving up the tree line and take out the M1 gun and so on. 223 though, going down for free to the M1 gun, not ideal. IG-33, that's going to be opening up. Probably not quite in time though. That's going to be hitting the rifles anyway, since it's not in range to hit the M1 gun. Could maybe fire position towards it, would still find it being pinned down. But Protosszoker's got to be careful here. Things could definitely swing in favour of Manotha if he doesn't reinforce this bottom side quick enough. There's a lot of threat coming through here. M2A1 howitzer going to be going and shooting this group of forces. Not quite hitting the mark just yet. But yeah, look at that. Panzergrens take out the mortar. Now they're going to be moving up the tree line. These Panzergrens are actually managing to pin the rifles at range, so winning that engagement. And alongside this IG-33 will do quite a lot of damage. So yeah, Protosszoker's going to be very careful. These Nebelwerfer strikes have been very effective so far, and really seem to have found ground for Protosszoker. And now Protosszoker doesn't have Ranger Assaults left. He definitely is in trouble going up against Stoss Troop. However, this is a big mistake here from Manotha, allowing the Nebelwerfer 42 to be direct hit by an M4A1. That's really bad. I think he's just trying to get that aggressively forwards so he can hit the artillery that Protosszoker has. Didn't have himself covered there, so lost a Nebelwerfer 42, and that may be the start of the end for Manotha. P-47 Thunderbolt going to be coming in with the 15 HE power bomb onto the Stoss Troop. Just going to be finishing those off. Rifles do get pinned down in the process, but an easy kill there. We do see this Nebelwerfer about to fire away. Oh, where is that firing? Okay, straight onto the Bofors. Interesting. I'm probably going to kill the Bofors, yeah, but not really hit much else. I guess it's quite an expensive target to hit. But where he was trying to focus on maybe killing the artillery in the mid, I don't know why you wouldn't try and do that with this Nebelwerfer on the bottom side. By the way, still a pretty close game. There's a lot of room to be made here for Manotha if he supports it correctly. Seems like Protosszoker not getting aggressive early on when he found some significant kills. It's really hurt his advance later on. Ju-87 is going to be coming in. But we can see this artillery is still going to work. Oh, nice kill there onto the M4A1. Gabi, is he going to be able to get the kill onto the Ju-87? The trouble with the Ju-87 is pretty slow. And that can often be an advantage because the aircraft struggle to get onto the back of them. But in this case, Gabi very quickly doing loops and coming back onto the Ju-87 there and shooting it down. So a relatively equal trade, Ju-87 for an M4A1. A little bit more expensive actually for Manotha. Now we're going to see a Focke-Wulf 190 engage Gabi, but Protosszoker knows better than to do that unless he has AA support. So going to fly over his own AA, bait the Focke-Wulf 190, might even find the kill there. However, the Focke-Wulf should be able to get out in time. So yeah, extremely interesting. On this top side, the Panzergrens have been dealt with. Protosszoker did manage to get in rifles here to take care of the Panzergrens at close range. That's one thing that Panzergrens do struggle with, is like the close range engagements, and rifles are okay at that. So gets the job done there, but you can still see it as a +2 across the board, since the front line is just just pushed out so much in favor of Protosszocker, especially towards the mid here, where the town is. There's quite a concentration of forces down here, but now they are all in one place. Look at that mortar damage. Just the artillery that Protosszocker has is just really doing him a ton of favors. Like, not being able to find the kills onto these 207mm mortars has hurt him so much throughout the game. And now Protosszocker is doing a fantastic job of cleaning up a lot of fire support units. Right, this IG-18 is going to go down to a mortar on the top side. We see the IG-18s under fire on the bottom here. The PaK-40 died. The Nebelwerfers are now under fire as well. Yeah, there you go, IG-18 down. Focke-Wulf 190 trying to get involved, but honestly, really not going to win a dogfight. You can outturn a P-47 with a payload. Might actually get the kill in this case, unless the Bofors can force that to fall back. But that's what it looked like Protosszocker was trying to do. Just try and get it over his own AA, so that he had the cover there to get out, and that's exactly what happened. So solid play. But yeah, with these units dying across the board, Protosszocker once again sealed the deal, I think. He definitely had a strong advantage earlier on, but seemed to lose it in Phase B, where Manotha came back very strong with the use of his Nebelwerfers, but didn't quite kill the targets that he's wanted to almost the entire game. Now you can see how many Nebelwerfer strikes have landed here, where there wouldn't have been any infantry. It's purely just to try and hit this arty. And not having done so throughout the game and killed it off has meant that now, every time he tries to push him with infantry, he's just getting hit by these artillery pieces, and it must be really frustrating to play into. Can this Nebelwerfer do the job? Oh, it's actually aiming towards the town. It's such a shame. I would really like him to just continue to try and take out this artillery, especially considering it is quite concentrated here. I guess it's still going to do quite a lot of damage onto these infantry squads. Hits those rifles very nicely, actually. But with his pioneers here, look at them all being pinned, being clumped up like that. It's just waiting for a 107mm mortar shell to land in his face. Nebelwerfer 41, I think, has been spotted. Yep, he is seeing that. These Ranger Marauders on the edge of the town here are definitely in a decent spot, able to see a lot of these reinforcements on the way, but yeah, I don't know. Protosszocker should have this game locked down. There is a 2-3-2 getting very aggressive here. It should continue, honestly. Like, imagine if that fast moved the whole way up the road. I mean, I know that's something that Manotha probably doesn't want to do at this point, but honestly, he would have had a chance to maybe kill out maybe one or two of the mortars. There is an M4A1 coming. But yeah, it would have been interesting to see that just zoom down there and try and do as much damage as possible. Ju-88S is coming in with its two 25 HE power bombs, or going to be smashed by those P-47s, but where that's going to hit... Oh wow, okay. Not the most cost-efficient bombing strike ever. Completely missed the mark. Got shot down. Not ideal. Basically missed because of the pin there onto it, but yeah, double strafing run now onto the Nebelwerfer 42. We see in the town that the 232 was actually taken out, I think probably by the artillery. This 223 is going to be forced back by the CGMC, and you see these rifles holding up at range against these STOS troopers they've come in. Not quite using their smoke efficiently to make ground forwards. Yes, the IG-18's doing a great job here. How long is that going to be until artillery is going to come down on it? Really nice kill there by Manotha, actually, to pick up the Gabby kill, but otherwise, things really not getting any better. We can see that Protosszocker is 1 minute and 50 seconds from victory right now. And yeah, Manotha definitely didn't give up and has played this very well through Phase B to make a dent back towards Protosszocker. I think both players though just faltering at the last hurdle. In this case, Protosszocker is just relying on his artillery now, and that's fair enough. It's just a very slow way of playing. Oh, that Nebelwerfer 42. Oh, it's going to kill off his own infantry. Takes out the Stosstroop. Takes out the Pioneer Führer. Takes out one unit of rifle in the process. Wow. That was certainly some friendly fire. He actually traded positively in favor of Protosszocker. Not ideal there. You definitely got to account for the poor accuracy of these Nebelwerfers sometimes. Especially when you're doing close range fire support like that. Yeah. Things really not getting much better. I think Manotha knows that he's not really bringing in any more units at this point. The M4A1 just going to be smashing these Pioneers into the dust. With most of the Stosstroop being cleaned up, I think Protosszocker knows very well that he can use those tanks at close range and not really be under much threat. So, yeah. Not going to end well for Manotha. 15 seconds left on the clock. We might even see this SDKFZ 7-1 go down. CGMC wins that engagement because it's armoured. On the top side, the SDKFZ getting some kills in there onto those rifles with its flak-filling. But there you have it. Job done. After 27 minutes and 30 seconds, Protosszocker is going to find himself the victory with the 2nd Infantry. And yeah, fantastic job. So 2,580 kills to 1,045 losses. Really convincing kill-death ratio. But yeah, in the mid-game, or like towards the end of Phase A at least, I feel like Protosszocker could have been a lot more aggressive, knowing he killed the Pak 40 in the Stug 3. But then after that, Manotha recovered. He got the Pak 40 into that bottom side, cleaned up the M4DD, made some space for him to advance, but didn't quite support the pushes properly, and was quite unlucky with his Nebelwerfer strikes. Those Nebelwerfer strikes missed the mark a lot. And if they hadn't, and maybe direct hit the 107mm mortars a couple times, then this could have been a very different story, where Protosszocker really didn't have the artillery he needed in order to support his ground forces moving forwards, because that was, or seemed to be, his choice of strategy with the 2nd Infantry. But yeah, Ranger Assaults, look at that. Panzerjägerführer double Stosstroop, that was like the first engagement we saw, really, really nice. These rifles, again, taking out more Stosstroop and Speertroop and the Pak 37. That is a very nice kill list for those rifles. Ranger Mortar is going to kill some stuff on the top side, I think that was. Ranger Assault there, again, more nice kills. 107mm mortar took out that Pak 40 in the end, but this 107mm mortar, again, another Pak 40, really definitely hampered Manotha's anti-tank capabilities, but it wasn't really taken advantage of. This Ranger Marauder did find a kill onto the Nebelwerfer and the Oberblitz munition there. We see this M1 gun took out a Stug 4. Gabi took down the Ju-87, got itself shot down eventually. CGMC actually clocked the kills onto the Ju-88S and the Focke-Wulf 190A8. Wow. Nicely done, CGMC. That's some great marksmanship. In terms of losses, well, Nebelwerfer did kill off those 2 Ranger Assaults, but that's really weird when you look at it. This Nebelwerfer, these were the first kills that Manotha got. Like, the Phase A was devastating for Manotha. He relied way too much on the Stosstroop. Didn't have the men to really hold back against the Ranger Assaults early. And, yeah, honestly, I think made the mistake of not thinking about how that matchup really works, because not only does he have less men, but he doesn't have a flamethrower. So like a squad with more men and a flamethrower at 100-meter range, always going to be able to dislodge your forces, make them do less damage, and therefore kill them off. So yeah, I think the other thing was, it was unfortunate his troops, every time a building got burnt out, jumped out in front of the flamethrower rather than the other side of the building. That was a bit weird, but mean, what can you do? The engagement was just bad in the first place, so that's just it. Pack 40, that was the one that was brought in and cleaned up the bottom side, and this is where Manotha really started to make back ground towards the middle of Phase B. There was about 5 minutes or 4 minutes into Phase B when he got that Pack 40 into position. And then, yeah, basically pushed on to that with the help of Noble Werfer 42s and his other infantry in the area. But in general, not many kills to his name, and not much ground made throughout the game as well. It was Protosszoker's game to lose, really, from, you know, the beginning of Phase B. And, yeah, Manotha put on the pressure, stuck around, but couldn't quite get the job done. So congratulations to Protosszocker, going to be moving on to the second round, and Manotha is going to be dropping down to the lower bracket. So hope you guys enjoyed it, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.